Welcome, YouTube and Facebook. Give me 1 second. Let's get Instagram in the room. While I am doing this, let me know how your day is going. How's everyone doing today? All right, we now have Instagram in the room. So we have Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So if you see me looking around, it's because I am on multiple devices. So first I want to welcome you. We're all family here for if you're new here. My name is Kiwanis Rucker. I am a board certified credit consultant. I am also the owner of KMJ Financial Services, where we specialize in credit education and restoration and tax preparation. I also have an MBA, and I am your favorite podcast host of the Credit Refresh podcast, where a new episode drops every single week. And you can listen wherever you listen to podcasts, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, uh, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. If you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments. Type hashtag replay gang. So let's jump into today's content. Today we are talking about the disadvantages of having bad credit. Yesterday was part one where we had four additional disadvantages of having bad credit, and then on Monday we talked about 3 mistakes that I see people make when they are trying to repair their credit. So if you missed any of those videos, make sure that you go back and watch them after this video. Now, one thing I want you to know about me is I do not teach down, I teach up. So there are no dumb questions. If you have a question, make sure that you drop that in the comments. If you don't feel comfortable dropping them in the comments here, you can definitely send me a DM on Instagram. So let's jump into part 2 of the disadvantages of having bad credit. Number 1 is you are too big of a risk for mainstream lenders. We have those big banks like Citi, Bank of America, and Discover who have rigorous standards for determining who qualifies for lending from them. You might not qualify for a traditional loan or credit cards when you have a bad credit score. Right. So, as this is very common and it's widely known that if you have a lower score, then you're more likely not to be approved for a top tier or a premium credit. We all know that. Now, that's not to say that you won't be approved for credit, but it's more likely to be a subprime credit cards or payday loans. And that type of lending, you definitely want to be careful of. Now, number 2 is paying deposits or utilities. This is also something that is widely known. If you have better credit, you can get away with not paying a deposit on utilities. We know that if your credit is not where it should be, then it's often a hard time trying to set up an account with a utility or an internet company. Customers that have lower scores may have to pay a deposit upon signing up, which acts as insurance if you fail to make your payments. Even if you're trying to establish a cell phone service, it can be harder to do that as well if your credit score is lower. Even getting the newer phones could be a harder time as well. I know that sometimes if you have I used to have Sprint, now it's T-Mobile. They have those spending limits, and if your credit score is low, you will have a lower spending limit. And then if your credit score is higher, of course, your spending limit is higher. And then depending on what you're doing with your credit, they check that every once in a while, and your spending limit can change. It can go up or it can go down. I've noticed that. Now, number 3 is fewer renting options. Now, we know home buyers, they have to be careful when you're trying to buy a home that you what you're doing with your credit and make sure that your credit score stays high. But even if you're renting, you want to make sure your credit score stays high, because the lower your credit scores, of course, the person that is renting, they're going to want to check your credit before they give you the keys to the property. Therefore, they will do a credit application, and you may need a cosigner or a bigger deposit when you're renting. Now, the fourth disadvantage of having bad credit is also something that's widely known, and that's more expensive car loans. When it comes time for you to take out a car loan, your credit history will play a huge role in both whether you can get a loan and then what the interest rate on that loan will be. It can even play a big part on the kind of car that you can get. So maybe you want a SUV and you aren't only able to get a compact car because of your credit. So let me tell you a little bit of a difference. So if you have a higher credit score on a car loan, you can get an interest rate of about 4%. If your credit score is lower, it can go up to 21%. And that is huge. That is a big difference on what you're going to pay for that car. So a quick bonus that you may or may not have known, Medicare doesn't typically pay for long-term stays in a nursing home or assisted living homes. So the established they rely on private payments, and they often run your credit before making admission before you can be admitted into a private assisted living center or nursing home. So if your credit score is lower and you are an older person and you're trying to get into one of those places, you may not be able to get in. So if anyone has questions, make sure you drop them in the comments. I always go back and re-watch the replay. I can remember in 2012 when I started working on my credit, I had a 520 credit score. I couldn't even get a piece of candy on credit. Okay. I didn't know anyone I could go to and ask questions. I had to do all the Google searches. I had to do all the things to repair my credit. The good news is that you don't have to do that. You have me. I have a DIY credit repair program, Credit Refresh Academy, where I give you all the tools that you need to repair your credit just like a pro. And the best part is that you have me along the way. You don't have to do it by yourself. We have an amazing private Facebook group where you can go and ask questions. We also have a live group Q&A session with me where you can also ask questions. I pride myself on making this a safe space for you to ask your questions, because we know that credit can be a little touchy. So if you know your credit is not where you want it to be, make sure that you head up to my bio, click the link, join the Credit Refresh Academy today. You don't need to wait until the new year to make this New Year's resolution that you know you're not going to keep. Get started on it today. Meet me here on Monday, same time, same place. We're going to talk about 5 credit laws that you need to know within our 10-minute credit tip. If you watch the replay, have questions, make sure that you drop them in the comments so that I can answer your questions. Until next time, love, peace, and light.